Hello, KLV Podcast listeners. Welcome back to HQ, where the team of KLV Weddings shares their thoughts on business, marketing, and more. I am your showrunner, Bryan. Let's get into it.
But welcome back.
Yeah, welcome back, everyone. It's been a little while.
It's been a minute. Yeah, we had priorities first.
That's right.
Yep. That's something to talk about too.
Yeah, I'm training,
yeah.
And it's going, I think, well.
Yeah, very well.
Very well.
Thank you for doing a good job.
Yeah, I'm doing my best. But we are back, and today we're going to talk about something maybe a little bit more personal,
okay.
I think.
Cool, but I love personal.
We're going to open some doors here.
Oh, yeah.
Yeah.
Open the doors.
So one of the topics is laziness.
Mm-hmm.
Yeah, laziness, wow. It's very broad, but can hit you, right?
In what sense?
In the sense of the business life, the work life.
Okay. All right.
You know.
I see where you're going.
Cutting corners and stuff like that.
Cutting corners, yeah.
Because it's very tempting sometimes.
Every day.
Yeah, right. Ooh, especially working,
from home.
From home.
Yeah, you could choose to be lazy.
As the owners, There's a lot, especially from...
Dude, it's a lot. Give me like a direction.
A direction? Okay. Well, what is a lazy day?
Mm-hmm.
Like, can you feel it? Can you tell when you're...
I
could sense today may be a lazy day.
Yeah, for sure. Like if I didn't get enough sleep or say we're not communicating very well, and I'll be like, dude, I'm not motivated to work harder. Because if we're at a sticking point, that's what usually gets me nowadays, like currently. That's what would make me feel lazy or unmotivated, is if I don't feel like I'm operating at my best potential, or that I'm working in a company that's at its... or that's looking out for me too, that like wants to take care of me.
So lack of motivation.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah. But when I get inspired, I'm like the most unlaziest person ever. And I start doing a bunch of stuff because I feel like, cool, like you can do your thing. I can do my thing. I start to feel lazy too if I feel like I'm picking up the slack for others who maybe that's not the way it should be, like, we pick up the slack for each other because that's the way it needs to be right now. So there's no feeling of like, I'm not motivated or something.
Right. The difference between.
That's the difference. Yeah. But if I'm like doing something out of my usual job description because you're not, then that would make me feel lazy.
Yeah.
And then I think it also turns, back and forth too.
Yeah.
You'd be like, oh, my leader, Meg or whatever, is not looking out for me, or she's lazy, and then I'm going to be lazy too.
Right.
It's like a vicious cycle.
Right? Yeah. Infectious.
Yeah.
Yeah. So what, can you feel it like as soon as you wake up? Like, do you like, oh man, today, like your first act of laziness maybe, are you like staying in bed a little bit longer? Or
a little bit longer, not too much, because I often
like what does a lazy day
for me
look like to you?
Those are usually when you guys go off to weddings. I feel particularly lazier because nobody's watching me. Yeah. Like honestly.
Yeah.
So if nobody's watching me, like cool, I can just like take my time. Like when other people are around, like they indirectly, I tell myself to be more accountable, like because I'm an example, even to my partner. I want to be a good example to show that I'm doing something. But then when you guys are working, and I know what I need to get done that day, and usually if say you were here, I would just do it all in the morning. But I'll be like, I'll just take my time a little bit more, and I'll like attend to myself more.
So you're waking up, maybe you stay in bed, like 5-10 minutes longer than usual?
Maybe like 5.
5 minutes.
But I'm working. I'm like posting something on Instagram.
From your bed? You do that?
From my bed, yeah.
So that's the first thing you do?
And I'm like, I would think about that and be like, this is not the first thing I should do. But we sleep separately most of the time. So it's not like I roll over and like to see what he's doing. It's like I'm already alone. So I'm like, well, I'm just going to post. One, because I forget to. Because our stories are not automatic. So I have to manually push them.
Right.
So if I don't do it in the morning, I'm more likely to forget. So that's why I do that too.
Okay.
Business will often take precedent over many things in our lives. And then after that is answer emails and just take my time with it. And normally I would like maybe walk Nika right away. I would like give it a little beat.
Just a little.
I'm like, it's so cold, or it's so windy, or it's so whatever. And I'll be like, I would be taking my time with that until I get to, you know, attend to the dog and then feed her, whatever.
Mm-hmm.
Take my time with that too.
Gotcha.
Yeah.
Gotcha.
So everything is not, it's not like things don't get done, but I don't work at the speed that I do.
It's more of a speed thing for you.
Because I do normally work very quickly.
Mm-hmm.
And, but sometimes I run out of steam too.
Mm-hmm.
And I'm like, man, I'm going to take it easy today.
Yeah.
I know what I need to do, but like, I want to just take hella breaks.
Right. Okay.
Yeah.
Okay.
That's my lazy day.
And then real quick, we got a black screen here. Is that okay?
Oh, no.
Yeah. Am I still there?
You're not there. What happened?
Well, you were talking, so
Okay,
right?
you're there. Can
So
you clap for me?
clap.
Oh, crap. Yeah, darn.
Are yours still going?
I'm
right?
going. Yeah.
So we have
I'll
the
just,
audio.
Yeah. the audio. You can
just-
just play my role.
Yeah.
My part over that.
Yeah.
Sorry.
So you were talking anyway. So
That's the thing, yeah.
no
I have
worries.
a cameraman.
No worries. I'm back.
Welcome back, B.
Here we go. Player 2 enters. Yeah. So laziness, right?
Yeah.
It starts to, maybe for you, you feel like it's a speed thing.
Yeah. I like to
Yeah.
work very quickly.
Yeah.
I want to move things really fast.
Is there ever a time where you're just like lazy to the point where you
Like, don't do it.
can't do it? You don't want to do it? Like you just drop it.
Oh,
right?
yeah. Okay. So at the end of the day, I usually try to clock out myself mentally from doing business things by like 6 or 7. I'll come back to answer an email, but I don't want to talk about it. I don't want to do anything with that. So I'll generally be kind of lazy about business things or non-urgent emails. Typically, like I think what we would usually do is like answer right away, no matter what time, no matter what.
Right. I've heard that before.
And like, it's just kind of self-damaging that you're always prioritizing an email.
Mm-hmm.
And the habit that you build where you put somebody else first before you, before your partner, before taking like maybe your family.
Just not good. Not healthy, right?
It's not very healthy habitually, you
Right.
know. There's a time and a place to do that.
Mm-hmm.
And when you have, like, you're always going to have your work.
Mm-hmm.
So you might as well just save that when you're present, you're not tired. You're not like trying to answer an email. One time I answered an email in the freaking massage chair.
Mm-hmm.
And then
Why not?
I messed up something. I forgot.
Oh, I see.
I messed up something, or I didn't double check something. So I wasn't in my zone. I wasn't in the correct environment.
Okay.
You know what I mean?
I could relate to that,
You know?
actually. I could actually relate to that, where you have to just be in it, right?
You need to kind of create the world to serve your purpose and whatever that purpose is. But trying to like overlap in everything, that's where things get messed up.
Blurred
or you
lines.
forget. Yeah, or you don't double check or whatever.
Okay.
So mistakes are made when you don't follow like a protocol.
Mm-hmm.
The protocol is to answer the emails at the desktop, not on the phone,
Mm-hmm.
right, with us, because you're more present. You have all the information that you need in front of you, and you're not just trying to answer the email. That's not the goal.
Uh-huh.
The goal is to provide a complete service, is to go, okay, I've checked this, I know this, I'm doing all this, I'm doing my due diligence when I'm answering this email,
Mm-hmm.
and I can only do that from my desktop.
Mm-hmm.
So why try to do that in another environment? You're
So-
asking to mess up.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So it's hard to be a little bit lazy and work at the same time, right?
Because
Yeah.
then you're going to make mistakes.
Yeah.
So
It's a fine line to walk, isn't it?
Yeah. I mean,
Is it possible, do you think? Can it be done?
it could be done. You're going to pay for it.
Yeah. Yeah.
You're going to pay for it in some way.
Or let me ask you this. Is there a space where laziness is a good thing? In
Maybe.
any aspect?
Maybe. I'm trying to think, like, the only time that I use the word lazy in my vocabulary is when I need to take care of myself and I feel run down. And then I use this word like to myself. The self-talk is, oh, I'm going to be lazy today.
Mm.
Yeah. But whenever outside of that, and I'm using it in a colloquial sense, it's like outside of that, it's a negative term.
Mm.
It's undisciplined.
Mm.
You know, even taking your dog out or having the discipline to do that.
Mm.
being lazy with that is just a habit that you habitually make. I don't believe there is any positive with being lazy.
Yeah.
I don't really believe that.
So in no space, there's no...
I don't think so.
Yeah.
I mean, not the way that I want to run my life.
Right,
so I guess it depends what you want out of your life.
Right,
and for me, it doesn't work.
Right. No, that's an honest answer.
Yeah. You could be lazy, but...
I agree. Like, you can be lazy, but does that mean should you be lazy?
Yeah,
right?
should you be?
Should you be lazy? I've had a lazy phase for sure. As soon as I graduated high school, I just wanted to be lazy. Like, I just wanted to be...
Like, what did that look like for you?
For me, it was not really caring about school anymore. Like, I was done. I only wanted to take classes I wanted to take. But because I was in a lazy mindset, I failed those classes. So I signed up for music classes, and I didn't do well.
Yeah.
And I was kind of like stunned because I was like, I'm a musician. I should have done well.
Yeah.
But at the time, I couldn't understand that I wasn't giving it my full attention. Like,
yeah.
I thought I was just going to cruise through it. I don't know what I was thinking.
Well, music, I think with any, like, you have talent, right? You have a talent to be musical, and but it has to be, there's still other skills that have to be developed.
You have to have think about it.
Discipline
You're
to
going
do
to
that.
school. Like,
Yeah.
you have to have a discipline
Yeah.
in your mindset when you're there, at least.
Yeah.
So laziness got really infectious, and then I started getting jobs, and then I was lazy in my jobs, and I'm like, I would just straight up wouldn't, like, I just stopped showing up. Like, I wouldn't even, like, tell them I wasn't coming anymore.
Where do you think the laziness comes from?
I think the laziness comes from probably a lack of confidence at the time. I was trying to figure out who I was, what I wanted to do.
So not being ambitious is a result of not kind of like knowing what you want.
I think I was just lost. Like, you just have this graduation, you have this big moment, and like for like a little minute, everyone's proud and happy for you. And then the next day is summer, and basically the rest of your life.
Yeah.
Like, at this point on, you don't have to report anywhere.
Yeah.
It's all on you.
No accountability.
And so I didn't have any type of structure looking forward.
Yeah.
And if you don't, you're going to find yourself passive, lazy, just taking whatever comes to you. You're not really like, if you don't have a plan, you can't really act.
I see.
So that's kind of where I was.
Well, I think everybody needs contrast. And we're talking about this with a certain team member.
Yeah.
And like life, if you don't know, you don't know. You know what I mean? So, for example, if you don't know what real life is like, then maybe in that way, you need to just find out. And in that way, it's good. Yeah, you need to be checked.
Yeah. Oh, for sure. I'm glad I did go through it.
You need to be humbled, right? I got humbled so many times.
Yeah, I feel it.
And I think I had I think that's one of my biggest lessons being here. Like, in my purpose is to overcome my own arrogance or my own ego, which was really, really high.
That's
even
for sure.
from the get when I was young.
Sure.
I would feel very proud, but in like a negative way sometimes. But I think it stemmed from like a loneliness or a non-acceptance, and it's basically fake. It's just a wall because, I'm not going to be accepted, or I have not been accepted, so I might as well put up this wall to protect my emotions or whatever. Is simply a defense. And so I don't have to make friends, or I don't have to try, I don't have to
it is a wall. It is
be
like
warm.
It's the cool thing to do. Like, if you try, you look like a nerd or something, right?
Yeah, or something that you made up.
Yeah.
Like, nobody even told me that.
Yeah.
I would feel a sort of weakness or a vulnerability that I want to feel.
Yeah, there's a lot of fear.
A lot of fear, yeah.
Just to even go to college at the time, or just go to school, I was just scared. I was really scared. I was in my choosing of classes. I was even like, I was a guitarist, but I didn't want to fail at guitar, so I didn't take guitar classes. I took I think I took piano or something else, and just because I didn't want to fail, I was scared. I was scared to someone to tell me that you're not good enough, or like, and it did crush me, even though like I failed at like piano and stuff.
Yeah.
But now looking back, I had to learn that lesson. Like I just had to. Like,
Yeah.
life will teach you that stuff. And looking back at my work ethic in these companies, like I'm surprised they kept me as long as they did. And some people, there was this one company that I worked for where like I was going to school full time and I'd work, you know, in the hours between that. And I was just so exhausted that one day I just fell asleep for like 2 or 3 hours during my lunch break. And they didn't know. Like this company had no idea.
Yeah, well, you're not doing things that bring you joy.
Right.
So of course it's like you don't have anything to wake up to.
Yeah.
I think that's what also encourages laziness is like you're not excited. You're not excited about what you're going to do. You think you know everything.
Yeah.
You know.
And just looking back at that, I'm just like I'm ashamed because that happened, but at the same time like looking back at that version of myself, like, wow, I can't believe I did that.
But does it feel good to know where you come from?
It feels great. And that's why when I fail at something, it's not the end of the world. It's actually just the beginning.
Yeah.
Like something great can come of this.
Yeah.
Like if 18-year-old Bryan was to look at me today, I think he'd be like, whoa, I didn't expect that. You know? And it's just small things.
Yeah.
But it's almost easier and what's the word? Encouraged to be lazy sometimes, especially if you have the wrong friends.
Oh yeah.
Yeah. And I had the wrong friends at the time.
Yeah. It's your whole world.
It's your whole world. And they'll tell you like it's almost uncool to try, like you have good grades, like you know, that type of thing.
Oh, goody two shoes and all that.
Very elementary school,
yeah.
right?
Yeah.
So I experienced that as well.
I got that.
Yeah.
I didn't really care though.
Yeah. Oh, today I'm just like, wow, where are those people now, right? Like now I'd rather fly solo.
Yeah.
And those who come into my life, right?
Yeah.
So, but yeah, laziness was tough. It was just, I was gaming. I was telling Kevin, I was gaming like between classes, but like nasty. Like it was just my whole life, right? I didn't do my homework.
Yeah.
It seems like I just wanted to take the pleasures of life and only that. Nothing disciplinary, nothing. That was all like foreign to me. That was like the enemy at the time. Any structure, like I was like very free spirit, man, like that type of thing.
Yeah, man, we're so opposite. I so wanted that, but then like I didn't really know how to be a part of it. I would isolate myself for no reason.
Yeah.
I'm like, but I want to be a part of it, and I want to do it. But I would be over here in the corner and like, you know, not trying to make friends or something.
Yeah.
So weird.
Yeah. No, I don't recommend that.
Yeah.
Like it's very empty at the end of the day. Like I don't have those same friends I used to hang out with. I'm not doing the same things I used to do. So in the long run, it didn't really matter.
Well, how do you feel now?
The opposite. Yeah. I feel like discipline is like one word I tell myself every day. Like, discipline. Like very structured. Everything kind of has a purpose, right?
Yeah.
Like I need my car to be clean.
Yeah.
So I can function.
Yeah.
My bed needs to be
so
made.
You can function.
Yeah. So, I mean, I'm not perfect. I still have a lot of things to work on, but
I think it's fine. Like people have so much energy to give. Just give it in the places that it matters. You know, I think if you understand what's a waste of time or what's dumb, you know, there's some things that you give your time to, and you're like, man, this is so dumb. Why am I giving my time to this? And you could be putting it in something else.
Yeah.
You know.
Yeah, for sure.
And that'll happen, you know. But then just get back on track. You know, everybody's gonna fall off.
Did you have a phase, any sort of like this that I just talked about?
Well, let's see. In my youth, I was not about grades. I was trying to be free-spirited, but then like just in my own world. I didn't have a lot of friends or anything. Maybe I had like one friend.
What were you trying to achieve in a free spirit type of, like what did it look like to you?
I was just in my imagination. Like,
Yeah.
I did want friends, but then I was really okay with like being by myself and just doing my own thing. And then it wasn't until like fourth grade, like I was getting like C's and stuff, and those are basically F's in an Asian family.
Yeah.
So, I was basically failing, and then when I brought that back to my parents, like for the first time, they were so disciplinarian, and they were, I got spanked and I got yelled at and all this stuff. And then right after that, it was like everything changed. I had to be a better student.
So you didn't see too much discipline prior to that? Was it more like...
There was discipline for sure, but...
Not as strong?
For whatever reason, like I don't remember it in my own memory. The fourth grade was like when everything became very like serious. And like I cannot mess up. And that it became really like ingrained in me up until like probably high school. And then I started to kind of rebel.
Okay.
Or mentally rebel.
Were your grades still there, or?
Grades are still there, but I was doing it out of spite.
What?
I was like, well, because out of high school, I was like a 4.2 student.
Oh.
I was valedictorian, all this stuff, and I had the belief that if I did this and I did what I was told, I'm gonna get into the best college and all this stuff. But in fact, it was it was super crowded. It was I had a lot of friends who were 4.0 and above students, and not really friends, more like acquaintances. I didn't really have friends in high school. And then I didn't really know what friendship was before. And then so everybody's going off to their 4 years. Some people are getting scholarships and stuff. And then I'm not getting anything. And
with all those grades and all that?
With all the grades and everything. It's probably because I was not very social, so I didn't have any extracurriculars. Yeah. I only had sports.
Okay.
And so I couldn't, and my writing wasn't anything before yet. And then when I didn't get into certain colleges and I found myself in a community college, I became like really resentful.
Of yourself?
Myself and like my parents trying to make me get good grades, and what did it amount to? I didn't even get that reward that you promised me.
So you felt like you were let down.
I was let down.
By your own actions.
I was disappointed, yeah. I was disappointed that I've been trying. I thought I'm doing what I'm supposed to do.
Wow, that would make someone...
I was really upset. And then I go through all of college like that, and I really believe at the time that I graduate college, like, this is nothing.
Yeah.
I was so mad.
I get that.
I started to like learn about how you can learn outside of school. Like I met Kevin, and I was really disappointed at the story that they had me believe.
They sold you, right?
That they sold me.
Right.
And so I was just like, I feel like in so many ways during that time, like I lost a sort of innocent hope that I had about the world. I became kind of cynical. Like
I think a lot of people go
I got
through.
very angry. I was very resentful. But it made me do something.
Okay.
The anger made me read. I never read. I never read any books. I actually started to read. I started to open myself to new ways to be influenced and learn. And I went to school for myself instead of going to school that they told me to. Like, you do this, do that, and you will have this.
Meanwhile that you're doing all this, what is the thoughts from your parents? What are they telling you at this point? Are they supportive, or are they just like...
They're generally always supportive. They would kind of question me when... the biggest questions came when I was like deciding to quit my county job and become like an entrepreneur. And it wasn't a cool thing yet to do.
Before Instagram.
But I had learned how to debate.
Okay.
How to argue my point. And I was already off on my own already, so I didn't feel like I had to be tied to them or rely on their money or anymore.
So at this point you're just on your own.
I was on my own, yeah. But they had always been generally supportive, and even financially too, like always supporting me. I could always kind of win them over.
Yeah. So you've always had like a little bit of a, like a supporting net for you.
I was very grateful to have parents that would eventually come around.
Like a clash, like, hey, we think you should stick in this program or anything like that?
They could say it generally, and I think if I were...
But you would argue the point.
I would argue my point.
And
because I had learned that with him. I was like, I don't need to be mad at you.
Yeah.
I just need to argue my point. I need to learn how to debate.
Okay.
And I had no idea how to even talk to my parents before that.
Where did you find the most resistance, if any? Like, was it mostly from your mom or more from your dad?
Probably more from my mom, but she was very quiet about it.
Like, very few words.
Yeah, but I know she has a problem with it, you know?
Yeah, you could see it.
Yeah. I feel her energy, too.
And your dad was like, okay.
And my dad kind of could, he could relate because his job had let him go after all of these years.
He was more understanding.
Yeah.
Wow.
We talked about the politics of the stupidity of corporate America sometimes, that how you try. And
you're just a number or something.
You're a lawyer. Yeah. And then they just cut you.
Yeah.
Because why, like, the white guy is better versed or well versed in English or whatever, you know, versus you or something. It's not like my dad is super fobby and he too is like, why'd you do that?
Yeah.
You know? Whatever. So he understood that I didn't owe anybody anything if I wanted to do what I wanted to do. And he was much more receptive to how I like to debate and argue. It's not intimidating to him.
Right.
He likes to go there with me.
Okay.
He'll push my buttons and I can push him a little bit.
So
but we can talk.
Yeah, it feels fair, right?
He's fair.
Okay.
Yeah, he's generally
but
very
maybe
fair.
more resistance from the mom.
Yeah.
Okay, gotcha.
Yeah.
Cool.
But now she's so supportive.
Yeah, because she's seen what you've done.
She's
with
seen
it, right?
The proof is there.
The proof is there.
Proof's been there for a long time.
Yeah.
And it also helps that I have a partner who they feel like maybe they couldn't trust me, but they can trust him because he's so like financially responsible,
right.
you know? So they're like, oh, good. At least she's being taken care of.
Right.
I think that helped too. I'm not really sure, but I think so.
Yeah.
It helps to have a partner who's like, well, at least they're going to help each other. You know, at least he's thinking about that financial stuff. Mm-hmm. And you don't seem to be doing that.
Mm-hmm. So now that we're still here with the parents, were they, did you take that ethic from them? Like this fast pace that you are today, or did you learn that elsewhere?
I think I learned that from him.
Okay.
Yeah.
Your partner.
My partner, yeah. Plus, I like to work fast anyway.
Okay. Like
if I play a game, I'm like...
I know. You passed the game in like 3 days. That's unheard of.
Nah, I was like 5.
Okay. Still.
But then I'm also a completionist, or I'd like to be.
You must complete the
I like to complete all the things.
Yeah.
That's what I was telling you about that one. I was like, I like it when little awards, you know, you get little awards. So I was like, that I don't really know if my parents work like that. I know my dad is very methodical. So it probably doesn't come from him. He likes to work very slowly.
Maybe he's, you say like a visionary or something?
He's a technician for sure.
Okay.
Yeah, he's definitely a technician. And he goes step by step perfectly. Yeah.
By the book.
Yeah, perfectly.
Yeah.
It's like, let's go.
Yeah, you're
like I get antsy.
Yeah.
Maybe it comes from my mom because she's antsy. You know, she's kind of anxious.
Mm. Did she work or she stay at home? Or?
She worked for, she used to be an accountant.
Okay.
So, and she's very people oriented, like Jenna. I think that comes where Jenna gets her peopleness. Comes
my
from
mom's
my mom.
an accountant too.
Yeah. Okay. Yeah. She's she's born in the year of the rat, so just like very.
That's this year. Right?
Yeah,
wow.
frugal and so, whatever that means.
Maybe
you know?
more conservative or
Definitely conservative. Yeah. I mean, they're both pretty conservative, but my dad is a little bit more
open,
I think.
Okay.
Yeah.
Cool.
But yeah, she used to be an accountant, and then when Jenna was born, then she decided to be stay at home because I think she saw like, oh, I wasn't.
I think I messed up. Generally,
maybe that's why Megan is so cold. No, I'm just kidding. No, because I was in daycare a lot.
I grew up in daycare.
You know, like all of us we didn't have really time with our parents when we were young because they were providing for their family, they were working, right?
Yeah, well, we were the first edition.
We're the first edition too, you know. So that's what happens when you're first born.
Yeah.
So that is what it is. And then, so she wanted to do something different, I guess. And then she stayed home for like 15, 17 years. And then she went back to work.
Yeah.
Yeah.
So is she working today?
And she's working today. Well, she's on like a sabbatical, like a little break, because when she was able to start work again, she was like, I'm not letting this go.
Yeah.
I think it means something for somebody to work.
Right.
I understood that for a long time, but they're like, you
I
have to find balance.
I was just going to say, it doesn't seem really natural for people to be lazy. Even our most primal state, if we had no language, if we had no job. Yeah, it is not natural. Yeah. The human, in its nature, is to go out and get the food, right?
And do
something. So I think a lot of the time these days, everything is given to us. We can watch that like hundreds of movies at any time with Netflix, Disney Plus,
and we still won't.
Pick something. You can find anyone to the T that you like, and it's still not going to work out. Yeah. And we get lazy, and then all these people are depressed and like, isn't that crazy? It is crazy. It's not. It wasn't supposed to be this way.
But it is.
But it is, right? And it's a culture now. Like now it's like, why do you work so hard? Like with the sneakers look in corporate America, you're starting to see like Google with the bean bags.
Trying to be all fun.
Yeah, like it should all be chill. Like, you know, like, and I get it. That's where we're going, or that's where right now we're at.
Yeah.
But it's very influential, I think, these days. Everything's just so, laid back.
Yeah. And then at the same time, hustle, grind, like all this stuff.
Well, I think the people who reject that kind of mindset will be the ones that even louder. Everything's so much contrast now. Like, I think in these days it's...
Yeah, you're right.
Someone can be great much more easily now than ever before because the contrast is there. Yeah. Because there's more people who are being lazy. So in the 90s, in the 90s you could be good, but maybe it was hard to be great. Now the door is just open. Like,
I don't know. I feel it's the same in a way.
It's the same in the way.
So here's why I say that, because it's kind of all relative. Maybe the tools are a little bit different and everything, but the mentality to be great at something still is kind of...
It takes work, right?
Takes work, takes practice, takes humility, takes all these things, right? Like, in order for Michael Jordan at his time to be Michael Jordan, it took that. And there was the same amount of... Maybe there's more people now, just in general. There's more people on the earth. But there was a ton of people just not doing what he was doing. Mm-hmm. And the same thing with Kobe. And the same thing with... If you just compare a winner's mentality to a loser's mentality or a lazy mentality, there's always going to be that. Yeah.
I guess what I would say is that there's more information now.
Oh, yeah.
Right? So you can use that, but at the end of the day, you're right. Like, you either do or you don't.
You do or you don't.
Because now you're seeing these kids who are like 14, 13 years old. They have nutritionists. They're already playing travel ball, and like they're doing all these things. But do they want to be doing it truly? You know, like it always, like you said, comes from within.
Yeah.
I guess there are more tools to be great, I think, now with information and like all that.
To access, right? The access and how to go to school for yourself too it's even cool to do that now.
Yeah.
Whereas before it was kind of like just becoming cool. Mm-hmm. And then before that it was absolutely not cool to try and train yourself and go to school. You know what I mean? Yeah. So, but the same thing, like you said, the same thing still applies. You either do or you don't.
Mm-hmm. Yeah, and I feel like there's so much you can go on your phone. Everything's right here. Like, right here. And it's so easy. I guess in words to say you can do it, but to actually do is another thing.
Yeah.
But I found myself... with the help of the internet to get to where I am today.
For sure. If without it, like, I would have not developed so many skills.
Yeah.
You know, like, wow.
Like you said the other day, I'll just Google it and I'll learn, right?
Oh, yeah.
You have that confidence.
I'll just learn it.
To search and learn.
Yeah. Yeah. And these new generation coming through, I just watched this show about Generation Z coming through, and they're the ones growing up with how it is now. We are the transitional kind of like generation where we were born into cassette tapes and things like this, right? Like, so it's fine. Players, but then we got to experience this incredible technology surge, but they were born in it.
Yeah.
Wow. Like, the heck?
I know, it just dropped right in, right? So what do you, like in the future, what do you expect? Do you think people will be lazier or do you think they'll work?
I think there should be no excuse, but people will always find an excuse because people are people still with or with the technology, people are still people.
Mm-hmm.
And that's becoming really apparent now because you see it and you hear it online that there's just some messed up, lazy, crazy ass people out there. And then there's the other side of the token. And there's always been the other side of the token. Now it's just more visible. You can see all the underbelly and you can see the stupidity and hear it.
Mm-hmm.
And you can hear all that noise and it's more readily in your face.
Mm-hmm.
But I think it's always been there. There's always been sort of this ugliness to people too, because we have that duality. We have that in humanity.
Yeah.
That's just but it's just more visible to you because you go on Instagram and Twitter and whatnot.
Yeah. I'm trying to think too I wonder when humans started to take in laziness, right? Like the leisure. I just wonder when that started happening. Like
leisure. Oh.
Yeah.
Oh man. I mean, look at the ancient Greeks.
Yeah.
There was the class system, right?
I'm talking even before that, like
the Paleolithic leisure.
Paleman, like was it the guy who just found the apple tree and he was just like, you know what? I'm just gonna post up here, and that's it.
I think it's always there, and I think maybe it always starts out good. Say the caveman goes, I could either collect one apple today, eat that today, and I'm good.
Yeah.
Or I could collect 7 apples, so the rest of the week I can chill.
Yeah.
Right. Is that lazy or is it smart?
Mm-hmm.
I don't know. You could argue both ways. Mm-hmm. I guess it depends on your intention.
What's your opinion on that? Smart, lazy, both?
I think it's both.
It's both.
And then in that case, and then you'd be like, I've earned this laziness.
It's more how you use it, right? Because say he does get the 7 apples.
Maybe he has time
to do something else.
Take care of the children or whatever. I mean, the caveman wouldn't do that. Go hunt something. I don't know. That's true. That's true. So is it, yeah. I mean, and then it's no longer lazy because you're now actively doing something.
Mm-hmm.
I guess it defines, how you define laziness, you know? I mean, there's really only one definition. It's like you're not doing anything out of, you have no motivation, right?
So do you ever feel that it's that you have to combat it? Like, do you ever feel like, okay, I think I want to take a lazy day, but today is not the day, or maybe I can push it?
Yeah, I get that.
And how do you do that?
I think like the weather will often make me lazy.
That's a big one, right?
Yeah, I love, I'm like a plant.
Yeah.
If there's no sun for like 2 days, I start feeling very irritable and not wanting to do things. I'll be like, oh, I'm cozy, or I just want to play a game. Or I'll feel particularly lazy when I get a new game, and that's all I can think about.
Yeah.
I'm like, I must beat it.
Yeah.
And I don't want to do it.
The storyline is in your head.
Yeah, the story's in my head. I'm like, dude. Then I'll be like particularly lazy. How I get out of it is, everybody has their own motivations. I have to be accountable to my partner who's relying on me to do certain tasks. And that is just a no question, it's just, they're orders basically, they're orders within the rank and the chain, and they make the whole thing run. Mm-hmm. So I will do it.
Yeah. Yeah. I feel for myself, there's definitely days, cause I feel like I'm more of a switch. I'm either on or I'm off.
Yeah.
And if I'm lazy, I find it's hard to get out. The same thing is true when I'm in work mode. It's hard to get out of that as well. So when I feel particularly,
so you're a rusty switch.
Yeah, like I need some oil in that. Yeah, not so much as it is easier to get out of a lazy state than it is a work because I guess the work seems to be more rewarding for me. Mm-hmm. So I know that if I put in the work, there will be a nice result. Whereas if I'm lazy for too long, I know that this is going to hurt me in some way.
Oh, yeah.
So it's a little bit easier to come out of that,
but
still very difficult for me. Like, especially if I'm eating in a in a lazy way, like I'm not preparing, or like it's hard for me to break that habit.
I see.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Yeah, because
I'll be like, B, why don't you bring a sandwich, man?
Yeah. So what I do is accountability, right? And just truth, like, okay, I've been eating bad for a month.
Yeah.
And now I'm starting to like jiggle.
You mean like go out?
Yeah.
Okay.
Like, now I'm starting to jiggle when I climb the stairs, you know? I don't like that.
Good.
So then
there you go.
It makes me go back into it's accountability.
Yeah.
And just the honest truth.
Food's tough, man.
Food is very hard.
You talk to all of us. We are so lazy about food. I mean, that's why we order the freaking macro box, even though like we're like he could be so stingy about what he spends, but the fear or the motivation is like, dude, I'm gonna jiggle when I go up the stairs, or I can't lift myself when I climb. Like I'm so heavy.
Yeah.
So, or my pants don't fit. And I hate it when my pants don't fit.
I'm dealing with that as we speak. I got some pants yesterday. And I thought I was a 30. I've changed 2 pant size in the past year. My last birthday, I was smacked with the size 30. And I've always been a 28 since like high school.
Yeah.
And then that was a big thing, right? Like,
oh,
whoa.
Yeah. 28. That's like I know that's the number.
That's the Mick Jagger number, right? He's a size 28. And when I got to 30, I was like, well, it's not too bad. And then now I'm like 31, maybe 32. So I'm like, okay, Bryan,
well,
we got some work to do, right?
Yeah.
So, yeah, it's just being accountable. Like,
that's all it is. And it can become a mountain, too. For example, the work that we're doing with the Instagram. So annoying.
We're talking Latergram. We're talking
WordPress.
Behind the scenes things that no one really knows.
The SEO part of it, all these little things. I mean, man, I'm so lazy about that. It makes me unmotivated to do that work. But like you were saying, it's like if I don't take the time to do this, I'm going to pay for it later. I'm just going to have a mountain of work to do later. But I would be lazy about that because it's like it's uncreative to me. It's like when I'm sitting there doing it, I'm like, this is a waste of my talent. You know, like I'm talking to myself.
These are thoughts in your head?
These are thoughts in my head. And I would not, this is not my purpose. And I've read so many books where, and that's why the voice is so loud, or it's like, you shouldn't waste your time doing things that are not within your purpose or in your talent. And I'm like, this is one of them.
How do you juggle that though? Like, how do you because there's going to be times in your life where you can't really, do what you want, right? Yeah.
And that's the reality of it. It's only my ego saying that because it's bored and it's like, it wants to be served all the time.
That's a good statement right there.
So
that's a sound bite.
Get that. Mark that. Okay. And sometimes I feed into it and it makes me lazy. But fortunately, I've been through this so many times that I have a switch in my head, a language to get myself out, which is just like, well, it's for the team or it's for the mission. That's my new one that I've been listening to Jocko podcast recently, and he's like a SEAL, and he's surprisingly very gentle in his delivery of being a leader. Even though he's a very burly, big Marine guy,
I know
right?
Exactly what you're talking about.
Yeah, and I just really like his delivery of leadership and sucking up and doing it for the team, for the mission. And so in those moments where I was like in pain going over doing the WordPress stuff and trying to do it as efficiently as possible, and I was so annoyed with it, and I would keep looking at the list that it's so long. But I'm like, this is temporary. I would just tell myself it's temporary. And then my ego would shut up and I would just get to work and do it because it needs to be done.
Yeah. And
I think that sort of militaristic discipline speaks to me.
Me too.
I come from that. So I was like, cool. At least I have my language, like my switch.
So would you say then that there's a connection between ego and this like laziness? Yeah.
Anything that's bad in your life, it's probably your ego's fault.
Yeah, I would say so, because when you say that, looking back, I would fake to myself that I was somebody, right? that who are they they don't know what music is, like rock and roll, you know, like it's not classical piano, blah blah blah. Like you have this, you know, you're full of it, right?
You're full of it,
you're
yeah.
this young kid and you're egocentric and all that.
Yeah.
So when you say that, I'm like, boom, that was it. So
Yep. I mean, it always makes me feel so embarrassed, like ashamed of thinking how like
what you used to,
what I used to feel like, and how I used to be.
well, that's the part of the journey, right?
It's good that it hurts. You know,
Yeah.
if it didn't hurt, then I wouldn't have changed. So that's why we say, feel it. When you mess up or you make a mistake, how big or whatever, feel it, because then you'll go, cool, now I have the tools, my own inner language to make that switch for myself.
Yeah, just like what we were saying, just be present with it, right? Just always being present. Like, I did make this mistake, or you know, I did say this, I did do this.
Yeah. Or I didn't do this, and
I
then
didn't
you
do
know,
this, right?
accountability, right?
Yeah.
And I learn that every day. There's always something in email responding, or I don't know, coordinating something for me to learn and be like, like, you know, just take a breath with it and be like, okay, how can I make this better? You know, I get humbled every day doing this work. So that's cool.
Yeah.
Yeah.
Okay, well, I have a new little topic for us, right?
Cool.
I call it the shutter speed questions.
Ooh,
so we're going to
good
go
one.
fast here.
Okay.
So your job is to answer as honest as possible and as quick as possible.
Cool. Let's do it.
And some of them are yes or no. Some of them are just one word.
Got it.
You ready?
Ready.
We'll have a little shutter speed. Right.
I'll edit in the shutter speed.
Yeah. So first question, are you alpha or beta?
Alpha.
Alpha. Greatest strength?
Oh, bridge builder.
Greatest weakness?
Ego.
Ego? Is that what you said?
Yeah, ego.
Who is your hero?
My hero? Oh, my hero. I don't have a hero.
No heroes come to mind?
No.
Nothing?
No.
Any person of influence that you hold, you know, pretty high?
No, not really.
Is that the ego thing?
No, not that I don't. It's because I take so much from other
multiple.
people.
It's
I
collective.
can't choose one person.
Okay.
Because I will love something about somebody and then maybe kind of hate something about somebody too. Like, oh, I don't want to be like, I like this part of you.
That's fair enough.
I'm going to take that.
I'll take that.
Yeah.
What makes you angry most?
Beta players.
Beta players, damn.
People who shy away.
What makes you happy most?
Communication.
Communication.
Yeah.
Okay. Nice. Good job. You
Thanks.
answered pretty honestly and truthfully, I thought.
Yeah, thank you.
Cool.
Phew, that was a little anxious.
The hot seat, right?
That was an hot
It's
seat.
supposed to be that way.
I'm like, I don't know. And then the whole like choose one person, I was like, I feel kind of bad that I can't name anybody, but that's my truth.
No, I thought about that question myself, and I kind of have the same thing where in different aspects, there's different people and different types of respect.
Yeah.
So a hero
Yeah.
for the whole one, it's pretty difficult to answer.
Yeah, I
So,
don't know. I mean, that would be quite a person to be my hero. If you had all the things, I mean, my standards are very high. So, wow. But I'd be like, wow, that's so cool that you would be embodied. Like, I'm open to meeting this type of person.
Yeah.
That'd be great.
Yeah. What type of qualities would a hero in your mind would have to have? Just right off the bat.
Willingness to learn, humility. That they could come down from their little hero thing. Number one, they wouldn't act like it, you know.
Boast.
They wouldn't boast, yeah. They would be completely humble, but still sort of balance proudness. They should be proud. Yeah, I would like to think like, if I'm thinking of a hero, I would think like, what's my ideal self? I'd say, because there's all these qualities that I want, that I value for me in my life and how I view the world, and it would be like my ideal self. But
So you'd like to be your own version.
I'd like to be my own hero
Yeah.
for sure.
I think that's very honest and actually a really good answer.
Because then it's on me too.
Yeah.
Then I take full responsibility for who I become.
Mm.
I don't like it when people blame others.
Mm.
It's a lack of accountability on yourself or
Mm-hmm.
a responsibility.
But you would be open to the idea that someone could help you, right?
For sure.
As a hero or as a person just kind of lifting you up.
As a mentor.
As a mentor.
I like that word better. As a hero means maybe they have everything, all the answers. I just don't think that's very...
The word is off-putting to you.
It is. It makes me feel icky.
Yeah.
I mean, I've done that before where I've idolized people. And then I get sorely disappointed.
Well,
But that's my fault for idolizing you for the reason, like you don't even know about it and I'm idolizing you. And I have this assumption that you're supposed to be this person.
Mm.
And it's kind of like not taking responsibility for the reality, the situation in front of me.
Well, yeah. I think that's why people like hero stories is because a lot of times they're not perfect, right? That's why we like Batman. That's why we like Superman. They come from like tragedy, right? And
and they don't boast that they're heroes.
Right. Yeah. And it's usually the villain who's the one who's very boastful. Right?
Yeah, and labeling them. Oh, here comes the hero.
Yeah, exactly. So that's what I think when I hear that word sometimes.
Yeah, I think maybe I'd prefer a certain language.
Mentor, yeah.
I like mentor. I like coach. Yeah. It kind of makes me feel like they're there with me. They're fighting with me.
Mm.
Not like looking down and being like, be like me.
Mm.
I don't really like that.
Mm.
Because it's kind of like not allowing for humanity too, for a failing and a forgiveness and the up and down of life, the natural yin and yang of it. Like someone who understands that.
Mm.
So just a more human approach, I guess.
There's one question you answered very quickly.
Oh, was it?
It was alpha.
Yeah.
How do you how did you know that, or how do you feel that? How did you?
Well, I guess it's because I'm a purist.
Yeah.
And I look for the best in certain things.
What does it mean to be alpha to you?
Yeah,
basically?
for me, it's not like the best toy or the best like thing. It's more like the best attitude or the best character traits. Like beta is like pretending, fake, having the potential but not rising to it, or shirking away from your responsibility. I think that's very beta. It's saying you're one thing and doing another. Like, so an alpha is somebody who says what they're going to do and they do it. Like that's it. Like somebody who's decisive.
No matter what the outcome. Do you think that makes an alpha, or is that a beta thing?
I think that they consider all their options first. And then when they make a decision based on that, boom, like it's done. And then because you're an alpha, you take responsibility for whatever happens after that.
Right.
Not like a no matter what and like I'll kill you if you don't, you know what I mean? So you've considered it in a sense of like, am I being fair? Am I being just? Am I being this or that? Like you've done all that homework already. Make a decision. After this decision is made, deal with the consequences or the ups and the downs of it after. Yeah.
Because what I was thinking was, have you ever seen the movie 300?
Yes.
Yeah. Gerard Butler's character, King Leonidas,
Mm-hmm.
he knew his troops were going to die. He knew he was going to die, right?
Mm-hmm.
But that was the right thing to do. They had to cause a delay so that the cavalry could come
and he was there with
take over
them.
the Persians after they sacrificed themselves.
Right.
So doing the right thing, like you said, but knowing that it's going to come with the cost.
And he took responsibility for it.
And he was on the front lines.
And he knew it too, right?
Yeah.
And he was leading his men with his men.
Yeah.
not standing in the back like,
Yeah, hiding.
hey,
Over there.
hey, over there. Like, okay, you will go over there. Okay, you go over there.
Right.
Like Darius, right? King Darius, like
Yeah.
running away on the flanks.
He wasn't even there basically the whole time.
You know, and he's trying to flee the thing at the end
Yeah.
because they kind of knew he was a coward.
Yeah.
Yeah, a beta's a coward.
Yeah.
You know, like I hate a coward.
Yeah. Can you smell one? Can you see it? Can they fool you?
Yeah, they can.
Yeah.
Because
What did you say one time?
like people can tell
Minx
me
or something.
wily minx.
Wily minx. Yeah.
You wily little minx. That's playful. If you're a coward, I'll be calling you something else.
Yeah.
And yeah, I get fooled a lot, actually, I think. Because I want to believe so much in people sometimes. And like I see the sign, I feel it. And then for whatever reason, I ignore it sometimes.
Mm.
Maybe like, and I'll be like, is that me trying to give people a second chance? Trying to be the bridge builder? Trying to be nurturing or something? Like, where do I draw my line?
Mm-hmm.
And I think I'm always discovering that as like, especially as new people come into the team, where do I draw my lines? And dealing with my old mistakes of like how I used to be, and dealing with that responsibility of like, well, this is how you were, and this is the message that you sent out and were attracting at that time, and now you're dealing with it.
Mm.
I'm always dealing with that.
Reaping what you sow.
Reaping what I sow.
Mm.
But yeah, people can tell me, I'm getting better at this, but people can tell me things what I want to hear. And like, I've noticed now that I look back and I tell you this right now, like people have done that forever.
Mm-hmm.
They think I'm this sort of perfect, judgmental. Well, yes, that's true. Judgmental, not perfect. Like they'll think that I think poorly of them if they do a certain thing. So they'll tell me what I want to hear.
To get away from that.
To not be questioned or not go there with me.
Mm.
Like they're afraid that I will judge them so harshly, and I'll be like, dude, I'm not even saying anything.
Do you think most people these days are alpha or beta? One or the other?
I think they're mostly betas. Yeah. It's a certain person too. And sometimes you can be a beta and you can upgrade yourself to an alpha, like myself.
I agree.
I was a beta.
Yeah.
And that's why I kind of hate it so much.
Because you know.
Because I know what it feels like, and I know that I had more to offer. But I was afraid for no reason than my own weird reasons.
Do you think, not to get like all into it, because there's going to be like a whole political thing, but like, do you think that women believe that they can't be alphas because of the
I thought about this a
stigma?
lot. Like, is there something in us that believes that we, like, sometimes the whole women's movement was so like blaring at Oscars last night. And I was like, it's kind of like a big deal, you know what I mean? And it's so like, wow, even in 2020, this whole like, for the first time, women are finally directing, or there was like the first woman composer composing the
Joker.
the Oscars. Yeah, that was pretty cool. And I'm like, but it's such a big deal.
Mm-hmm.
And then she's dressed up and everything. And I was thinking to myself when I was watching that, I was like, she couldn't just be a regular woman in a regular tux.
Mm-hmm.
It was like makeup up the wazoo, hair is done all crazy, gold suit, and just like maybe even overperforming. Like, I don't know, it made me feel weird
It's
in that.
It's interesting that you say that. It's because I didn't watch this, so I don't know what you're talking about. But earlier we're talking about a hero, right?
Mm.
Someone who's not very boastful, not here for the attention, just is doing what's right.
Yeah.
So maybe when you cross that line, it makes people question, right?
Yeah, I don't.
Like, what are we really doing? Who are we really following here?
Yeah.
For me, I do believe that women can be alphas, and I think it should be encouraged. I think a strong man, or in my opinion, a real man would not be intimidated by a woman who's
That's true.
strong. I think you want a strong woman.
You want a partner. Like the beauty of women is we biologically hold this other side of us, this nurturing side. That's why I'll be like, am I just being nurturing?
Yeah.
Am I just in my femininity?
Yeah.
Right. And I thought I'll be like, yeah, I'm probably just being feminine and motherly or something. And men have that side, you know. And when you come together, you have something that is complete.
Yeah.
Like Kevin and I coming together, when we come together and we are in synchronicity, like, and we are on the same page with each other, and nobody is threatened or damaged or hurt. We create really good shit. We do.
Yeah.
And I feel very motivated.
And it's unforced, right?
And it's unforced.
It's natural.
And we go back and forth with each other, and we're not threatened by each other. It's not the easiest thing to do because of past or whatever, damage or whatever. I think that's maybe what's happening with women, psychologically damaged. So many arrows collectively in women's hearts. They're so on guard because the loudest men, or the men that have had the most attention or had the most accolades and recognition in our society, has been rewarded for that. So we're just always on guard. Like, we feel like we have to defend. Like, I felt like I had to defend myself from my own husband. So it's like, it's so silly though that's what it is, but that is what it is. And until that wound is healed and they collectively address it, the same thing with us, until we addressed it and healed it. And things always come back because, I don't know, like, if you're the one that's wounded,
you can't, two wrongs don't make a right?
Yeah. And if you're wounded first and you keep on getting wounded, you're psychologically weaker. You've lost more battles than you've won in your mind. You know, that's how it would feel for me.
So wait, say that again. If you've been weakened and you keep getting wounded, is that what you said?
Like, if you keep losing battles.
Okay.
Psychologically. I mean, they shouldn't even be battles, but that's how it feels, because you've been wounded. First you get wounded, right? And then you get wounded again, and then they now become bigger wounds, and nothing is ever healed. Psychologically, you just feel that you can't win. That's how I felt. I think that's how collectively women feel. It's like, geez, we can't win with you. You keep creating a system that only rewards you. You know, like a man that is very old and overweight and doesn't look his best can still be in a position of power. And then the moment a woman steps up and tries to do that, she's scrutinized over all these things that don't matter. Don't really matter. They didn't matter with a man who was standing there. So all those moments, repeatedly, systematically, in our culture and in our society, that's why we have this sort of thing. And it's just a shame, like, watching the first female composer compose it, and I'd be like, man, she couldn't just be regular though. That's what kind of like, it's like getting the victory, but not really getting it, right? Yeah. It's like, and because I'm a woman, I'm sore about it.
Yeah.
I'm like, she couldn't just freaking just be herself up there or something. She had to crank it up to an 11.
Yeah.
You know, she couldn't just be a composer. She had to be a beautiful woman and then a composer. It's like, you have to be a beautiful woman first.
Yeah. Yeah.
In order for a man to be like, to listen or to even.
That's a thing though. I've been reading and researching about that. Like, the beauty in women, like what men see as beauty is the same thing as what women see as beauty. Like when you ask what is beautiful to a woman, a lot of times they're going to think of a woman like, you know, someone who is beautiful. And we kind of all collectively like think of that as like what beauty is defined by, right? Yeah. And so that's just, to me, that sucks, right? That's just like, dang, like,
it's so ingrained,
because it's very, very rare that well, one, men we don't talk like that. Like, wow, what a beautiful man. You know, like, we don't, it's not even like, it's not weird. Even there, you know, like I can't.
It'd be way weird, right?
It's just weird, you know, like, but a woman will see a man who, like a beautiful man, and be like, wow, he's gorgeous, right? Like, it's just, and it's natural, like, wow. But a guy would be like, wow, he's, you know,
Oh, he's fit.
dude, or he's fit, you know.
Or he's
they'll
buff.
You know, they'll be like, oh, I wonder what he takes or what he does, like, right?
Yeah.
Or they'll be threatened.
Yeah,
but they're
or
never
be threatened.
It's never like, oh my god, you know, like,
Yeah.
you know, like, it's never like that.
Yeah, like when I was watching Super Bowl, I was like, oh yeah, man, god damn, look at Shakira. Like I was like, man, it like inspired me.
I've
you know,
heard more women talking about that Super Bowl thing than not one guy was talking, and that's weird to me because before, you would have thought like guys drooling, but all I've been seeing is like women, and that's fine, do your thing, whatever. Yeah, it's just that's where
they're
at.
Like afraid.
Yeah,
to like, wow, they look great.
Yeah. Oh yeah, that's another thing. Like it's that's what it is. That's the times we're at. But what I think is I agree with women in this undoubtedly is that there have been bad men that have been getting away with too much for too long.
Yeah.
And I think that is not necessarily women's fault. I think it's the good guys' fault for letting this happen.
That's true.
And not standing up and being a beta and not holding each other accountable. So when I hear this idea that, you know, men are trash or whatever, I don't agree with like all men are trash.
I love men.
Yeah, but I do think that the problem stems from us, from guys, from men not stepping up, from
not saying anything,
from and just like not holding ourselves to a higher standard.
Yeah.
So I agree with the whole movement in that, but there's just other things that are just like
it's messy, right?
Too much. And
it's messy.
I can't get on board with that boat.
Yeah.
We can't just be calling each other like foul things, right?
Yeah. To me, when I look at the movement and I see the effects of it, I'm like, oh, okay. And then I relate it to my own situation, my own quiet
imagination,
like my own quiet voice.
Okay.
How I in the past would silence myself, and I always find myself like, if something bothers me or irritates me, what am I doing that's keeping it quiet? I'm not saying anything. What are the things that I'm cowering from? Because I do find myself doing that all the time. This morning was a clear example. Like, Kevin gets lazy and doesn't take out Nika and relies on me to do it. And like, I just been like holding it in that I'm so mad at that. And like this morning, he's like, happy anniversary. Yeah. And I'm like, happy anniversary. Because I could already tell he's in his routine to go work out, serve himself first. And like, I'm like, I don't like to tell you what to do. You know, you need to just do it. Yeah. You need to just do what's required of you, you know? So I would be like, for the first time, I was like, he's like, why are you not happy or something like that? I was like, I'm upset because you don't take her out. And like, just to say it, I didn't want to say that for some reason. And I'm like, that was not so bad. I feel weird about it. I don't like saying that.
Just coming out with it.
I don't like saying like, I'm upset because you're not doing this. I'm like, please just feel the energy. Yeah. And do what you're supposed to do. Why don't you know, right?
Why is it hard for you to say?
I think it's a typical woman thing to be like, why don't you know what to do?
Yeah.
But he was like, okay.
Yeah.
I was like, that wasn't that bad.
Yeah, that's another thing is that, you know, upon research and just, you know, evidence of facts and stats is that when guys don't do what we're supposed to do, like, and we're seeing it on a cultural level, women are not going to be happy with you. And that's where we're at.
I'm going to be pissed.
And that's where we're at these days. Like,
I'm like,
you know, and I agree. This is our own fault. Like, guys, this is our fault.
I also believe it's not totally your fault. I think it's your mother's fault. Yeah. I think mothers in general spoil their sons, and they don't teach him how to be a man. It's not solely the responsible of one parent or the other. Yeah. Yeah. Both parents should show their children how to be women and how to be men. I can't really, I mean, I say this with a grain of salt. I don't have children, so I know that's coming from like a really. But
you have experience.
I don't have it, you know what I mean?
Like you are.
Take that as you will.
Yeah.
But I do believe that if you should be shown how, like my parents, I think they did a really great job. I learned how to be masculine and somewhat feminine. I'm more masculine than I am feminine, but because my mom is also not very feminine. So I learned that from them. But in the case of some people, if their mothers baby them or anything like that, and it's a common thing because I've done my own research too. And I was like, dude, I get so turned off if I have to mother you.
Yeah, I can speak to that from my own personal experience as well. My family comes from a young matriarchal family where women just like, they are the ones who say what goes and the guys just go to work. Like I've seen, if you ever went to one of our family parties, like the guys are in a corner. Like I'm not even joking. Like they're all like, and the women are just like, they're the ones who are the center. And I'm not saying that's right or wrong, but it affects, like I saw how it affected me. I became, growing up, very in tune with my femininity and my feelings and emotions were at high levels. And my dad was always working, so he didn't really show me like how to be more masculine. And as a young boy, boys will smell that, they'll find it, and they'll think of you as weak, and then they'll come for you and try and hurt you and poke you and all kinds
bully
of things. So it's just like very primitive. Like they can feel it. Like you're a weaker.
It's like in animals too. If there's a weaker animal, they will bully it. And I'm like, oh, that's so sad. It's
very sad, but it is primitive. And you, at the end of the day, you better like figure out how to become more. So that's what I have had to do.
I've had to do the same thing. Yeah, it's like, oh, okay.
Yeah.
All right.
But now I'm wondering, does laziness look different when a man wears it and a woman wears it? Do you think?
No.
It's just the same type of...
It's the same dumb stuff, It's like a waste of time. I think it's a language pattern that now that we're talking about it, I mean, I'll be like, I think I'll take a lazy day today. I should just change that to, I'm going to take a self-care day or a fun day. Yeah, because like, it's the toxic thing that can be infectious in your own how you think about how you just do things, like it can be very unconscious. It makes you very unconscious about your life. I always want to imagine that I'm very conscious about the things that I'm doing. I know what I'm into. I know what I'm agreeing to. I know the work involved. I know the commitment that I'm going to make. Like, I don't like to be unconscious about it because I was like that for so long. And I got into the biggest crapshoot ever.
Was that your beta phase?
That was my beta phase, yeah. Even though I so wanted to be alpha, but then I didn't know how to like get there. And I had a fake idea of what it was, and I tried to do that.
Alphas are not lazy, are they?
No.
There's
they just get it.
No room.
They just get it, They just go. Right. And then even if it doesn't work out, they take responsibility for that.
Right.
Yeah.
Because if the alpha is lazy, then the troops will become lazy.
Yeah.
Yeah. And then everyone's going down.
That's it. And your mission has failed.
Yeah.
So I really don't like the term lazy. And I don't like surrounding myself with it. And when I see it, it irritates me. I get very turned off. I get very uninspired, and then I get really angry.
In that order?
In that order, yeah. And then I will hang on to it until you fix it.
Until you fix it.
Yeah.
Okay.
Yep.
You gotta go through the process, and if they don't bring it up or they don't fix it,
or I'll just skip right to it. I'll skip right to the anger.
Oh, wow. You've done that?
Yeah. I do that a lot. I do that a lot. Yeah. And then it's up to me to say something because and I'll often try to check myself and be like, am I being judgmental? Am I not giving this person enough chances? Because people are lazy. I am lazy sometimes. So is it just that? Or is this a habitual deep rooted thing in you. I don't like that.
Have you ever been called out for being lazy, like in this type of environment, in this work? Remember how it feels, or?
No, not really called out. But then I'll face it myself and be like, Kevin will be like, oh, have you Pinterested lately? And I'll be like, no, like I totally forgot. And he's like, okay. And then I'll think like, damn it, to myself.
Like you don't like it.
Yeah.
No one likes that.
I don't like it.
Yeah.
I don't like that feeling. I don't like anybody.
Do you go through that same
telling me-
process though? Do you go through the anger, like the exact,
Yeah.
with yourself?
With myself.
Oh wow.
Yeah, because I don't like to deal with it, you know.
Yeah.
So I know I'm the type of person to really feel it, to be angry, because that's how I learn the lesson the best. I'm like, I hate that feeling. So if I find myself not Pinteresting or not doing what I'm supposed to do, I remember the feeling and I go, whoop, that's my switch. And then I do the work.
So you don't even allow yourself to slip down that far.
I try not to.
It's kind of like a safety
I try not
contraption.
to. Yeah, it's my little buffer.
Back up.
Like, whoop. Yeah.
Yeah, that's good.
And that's okay.
That's healthy.
Yeah. At least what matters is my intention and then what did I do? You know, I think anyway. I'm not staying there. I'm not poisoning the team this way by staying there. Everybody can slip. You're going to slip. So you're human. And I think to have compassion for that, but then to help each other get back on track. Just get back on track. That's all, you know?
Yeah.
I just don't want it to be a habit. Just let's not make this a thing, you know?
Yeah.
This is not our thing.
Yeah.
You can be human, but it's not a thing.
That's one reason why I have a lot of respect for you guys, is because like everything that I want to be or work towards, you guys are as leaders showing that. Like when we went rock climbing, you guys weren't just like sitting there and say, go do the work. You guys were climbing and showing us, and it made us want to do it. You know, it made Courtney want to do it. I wanted to do it.
Yeah. That's cool.
Yeah. And even in times like this where you're uncertain or you're not sure if you've done it, or you don't just go like, oh, you know, it'll get done, or like you're like, oh, gotta go do it.
I just do it. Yeah.
And that makes, like how you said, when people are around, makes you want to work harder. That's yeah, you guys are leading properly.
Cool.
Yeah.
Thank you.
Yeah. Yeah, for sure.
It's new.
Yeah, because that's what makes people, you know, as employees, either want to stay or leave. You know? A lot of people leave because poor management, poor leadership, right?
Yep.
So
as I've learned, you know.
Yeah.
It was a big slap in the face.
Yeah. So you guys always, I understand that role, and you guys are doing well, I think.
Thanks.
And I know it's not easy, because there's days where you're just like, I don't want to do this, right? Like, but it must be done.
It must be done.
Right.
Yeah. I mean, it's all right. Like we can, we struggle together. If we struggle together. If we win together too. So let's just win together. Well, and the struggle is not always just for the sake of struggling. You know, it's always for purpose. That helps me too. Like in those moments where I'm being lazy or whatever, I don't want to do the work, or how many times have I written this tag? Like, because I've written this tag 50,000 times. I've probably written the tag Kevin Le Vu weddings or Kevin Le Vu photography thousands of times.
Yeah.
And I'm going to write it more. So like, it's just, just do it.
Yeah, for sure.
You know, it gets us work.
Right.
It gets everybody work. I kind of think of it that way. And that this little micro thing that I'm doing, because I'm taking the time to do that,
There's greater purpose.
everybody has money.
Yeah.
Everybody has more to go around, right? So, and those are the times where I was like, cool, and then I'm light again. Because you put on your own weight. You're like, oh, so boring.
Yeah.
You're the only one saying that.
Yeah.
You know, you're saying that to yourself.
Okay.
So you could take it off.
Yeah.
But have you
Make
do you know
something
that?
of it, right?
Yeah. Do you know you can take off that weight and like put on a jetpack?
Jetpack. I like that. There's another one right there. Soundbite.
Love
Yeah,
soundbite,
there you go.
yeah. I'm on this all these like Spider-Man analogies.
Oh, that's right. You just fought these guys.
Because these guys all have jetpacks.
She's
I'm
been
like,
playing the,
what the heck?
Spider-Man
You guys have jetpacks now?
Yeah. But yeah, before we get to we'll end it with the viewer questions.
Sure.
Can you wrap up basically what is laziness in the work environment? Can it exist? Is it healthy in your opinion?
Laziness is absolutely not good for the company and for work.
As an entrepreneur?
No.
Can't happen.
It can't happen.
Yeah.
You will not be a successful one.
Yeah.
You can be one of the fake ones that are all on Instagram right now. They all post these little quotes and stuff. And what do? They don't put in the work. There's a lot of those. I did that for a minute. I was like, because I didn't even know. Like what it meant to really work. Do you know what it really takes to run this business? Nobody can really fathom it until they're right there next to you. And you're just waking up every day and you go do the thing. And then when you go to sleep, that's what you'll be able to see that. Maybe within a week, you'll be able to see what it takes to do this. At this level, too, is different than, say, somebody starting. And there's no time for it. There's no time to be lazy. There's time to stop and to take care of yourself.
Rest.
Because that is also taking care of your number one tool.
Yeah.
Is your body.
Investing in yourself.
And that's equally as important. So I would say like my language used to be when I take a self day, I'm like, oh, I'm going to be lazy today. I'm going to change that now. I'm going to just take a self-care day. And so, yeah, there's really no room for laziness. And if you're lazy, it's cowardice. You're just cowering away from what you need to do. Yeah. You know it needs to be done. And you're not doing it.
Self-destructive. Yeah. Can't happen, guys. No laziness.
No laziness.
Not as an entrepreneur.
Not as a successful one. That actually pays all their bills with their entrepreneur money. Like, you're a hustler. Yeah. When you're not working here, you're working somewhere else.
Yep.
Yeah.
Yeah.
What else are you going to do?
Yep, I agree. Okay, sweet. We got the word. Yeah. We know can't happen.
Can't happen.
Not if you're going to be successful. I think that's important to say.
Yeah, you can be lazy all you want, but there's a consequence to it. Right. That's it. Right. And I tell Chi this all the time now. Like, you can do whatever you want to do, but there will be a consequence to it.
I completely agree.
Yeah.
Okay, well, let's get to our. I think we have some questions.
Cool.
From our viewers.
Cool.
This one in particular is from Jamie.
Okay. Hi, Jamie.
Hi, Jamie. So Jamie asks. She wants to know about generating client leads from boosted IG ads. What is the ROI?
What do we spend on ads right now? I think we spend upwards. It works for us.
Yeah.
One, I think with Instagram, you need to have a good profile. Good meaning full. Makes sense. Branded. There's a lot of boxes that you need to check if you're using Instagram as a lead generator. I will speak from my own example, and you can take that if you want to. So the way that Kevin has envisioned his feed has been very meticulous, very meticulous, like painstakingly meticulous about it. So he has a theory based on the clientele that we want to attract and based in the price range that we charge. So with that being said, we put out images that we think will attract those type of clients. It's full, meaning I have pages and pages and pages on the feed as you scroll, because as a consumer, that's how you consume. You're going to scroll very quickly, like as a bride, right? So thinking about the current behaviors of your audience and how they're consuming the content there. If you only got 4 images, that's nothing. One, it denotes you're new, you're not credible. It denotes so many things that are negative against you, that are going to work against you. Can you still book a client with only 4 images? Yes. But you're probably going to have to sell on much more than Instagram. A boosted post in Instagram, depending on how much you spend, and you get more eyeballs the more you spend, generally. So that means it's a numbers game at that point. You got to boost the correct image. Correct meaning, this is so long. Correct meaning.
But you are saying it works. It just depends on what you're putting into it. Right?
I mean, it's so, yeah. I mean,
Right.
I could always say that.
I'm
it just
sure
depends,
Our viewer is appreciating this. So.
But this is a very kind of quick rundown.
Mm.
And hopefully you hear something that you can go investigate on your own.
Mm.
That's what you need to do. No matter what I say, you need to go investigate it. I mean, I may be able to point you in the right direction, so that could be helpful.
Mm.
With a boosted post, you're already boosting a post that has been posted already versus, say, if you have a new image and you want to turn that into an ad, you don't have any testing on it. You don't know if it works yet. So a boosted post can work in that you already know it's doing well. So it's already getting traction, likes, and engagement. Engagement meaning comments. People are seeing it. Instagram already favors it in the algorithm. It is potentially, you have maybe a call to action in there. So you've maybe planned out this post beforehand saying, this image is going to be dope. I'm going to put a call to action here, link in the bio or whatever like that. And you see how it does. If it does well, then you go, cool, I'm going to boost it for a couple bucks, like $50 or something. And then you run your campaign for however long, and that could definitely give you a boost, and that's all it is. It's a temporary boost. Boosts are not forever, towards where you want them to go. Cool. So that little link in the chain, because there's a chain from just viewing you online to like point of sale. When they get to the link and they actually click on your call to action, we will call that a true lead generator.
Mm.
Like, yes, it works.
Mm.
So we've been able to do that with a couple of posts. It's been successful. We kind of go on a whim. It's based on how well the post is doing. If we see it's getting a lot of traction, we'll just run it. And if we see it's still getting traction, it kind of depends on how much engagement it's getting. We can keep putting money behind it. We can keep renewing it. And then you'll start to see that it's going to start to fall off, because in that audience, in that pool, it'll become old and nobody's going to click through anymore. And you go, cool, okay, stop, and you move on to the next one. A lot of it is a lot of just trial and error and testing, and that you will have to spend money, right, to just find out. But I mean, what would you spend your money on anyway in your business, you know? It's one of those things where if you can just allocate money towards Instagram, you won't really feel bad about it. Just how like responsible gamblers are. They're like, I'm going to go to Vegas. I'm going to save up $50,000 and it's just my gambling money. And if I lose it all, I'm okay with it. So you have to be okay also with losing this money that you're spending in Instagram if it doesn't work out or if it doesn't do anything for you. But yeah, that's been our experience with Instagram boosted ads.
I think that's just marketing in a microcosm, right? Just a little pull of it, right? It's the same thing. Trial and error.
Yeah, and we just learned that through trial and error. And we've done that for maybe a year, 2 years. I let Kevin really just handles all of that. He'll share it with me because he gets so excited. And I'm like, And then I basically take all that information and then try to let that influence the content that I put out in stories or how I could fill in the gap. Because he already does the picture thing. I don't touch that. He's taking the picture. That's a piece of content. Now we need to fill in gaps with stories and stuff like that. So, yeah.
All right, Jamie, that one was for you. We hope that helped a little bit.
That was just an insight. There's no like directive in there, but like that's what we do.
But thank you for asking that question, and thank you guys for watching another episode with us.
Was that there's only one question, right?
Yeah.
Okay, cool.
Yeah.
Cool. Thanks, guys.
Bye.
Bye.
Thank you for listening to the KLV Podcast. Learn more about us at kevinlevuweddings.com or on Instagram @KevinLevu @KLV Podcast. You can rate and review us on iTunes and watch us on YouTube. Join us next time sharing more of our experiences and lessons.